After we announced my pregnancy, my SIL's plan to humiliate me at my husband's party backfired, landing her in jail and a divorce. For the past 8 years, I had been married to Daniel. Our marriage has been wonderful in almost every way, except for one persistent dark cloud: Daniel's sister, Vanessa. When I first met Vanessa, she seemed warm and welcoming, but that facade quickly crumbled once Daniel and I became serious. From the beginning, Vanessa made it clear she didn't think I was good enough for her brother. She came from a well-established family, and though Daniel never cared about status or appearances, Vanessa certainly did. She would constantly make subtle digs about my background, my job as a kindergarten teacher, and even my appearance. "Daniel always dated such glamorous women before you," she would say with a saccharine smile at family gatherings. "It's so refreshing that he's finally with someone so down to earth." I tried everything to win her over. I helped organize her birthday parties. I remembered all her favorite things. I even volunteered to babysit her son Jeremy when she needed time alone. Nothing worked. Every kind gesture I made was met with a cold shoulder or a backhanded compliment. Daniel wasn't blind to his sister's behavior. He would often call her out, which only made things worse. "You're turning my brother against me," she accused me once after Daniel defended me during a particularly nasty dinner where she accidentally spilled red wine on my white dress. Things escalated when Daniel and I got engaged. Vanessa showed up at our engagement party in a white dress that looked suspiciously bridal. When people commented on it, she laughed it off, saying, "Oh, I forgot what kind of party this was." Silly me. Our wedding day wasn't any better. Vanessa gave a maid of honor speech that was filled with stories about Daniel's ex-girlfriends and how surprising it was that he ended up with someone like me. My parents were furious, but I begged them not to make a scene. I wanted one day, just one day, without Vanessa's drama. For the next few years, we managed to keep our distance. We'd see her at family events, but Daniel and I had mastered the art of polite avoidance. Then came the news that changed everything. I was pregnant with our first child. We were ecstatic. After trying for 3 years and suffering through a miscarriage, this pregnancy felt like a miracle. Daniel's parents were overjoyed at the prospect of becoming grandparents. Even Vanessa seemed genuinely happy for us. For the first time in years, I thought perhaps we could move past our issues. How wrong I was. Daniel's 35th birthday was approaching, and his parents planned a surprise party at their home. They invited close friends and family, including Vanessa and her husband, Greg. I was about 16 weeks pregnant at this point, and we had decided to officially announce the pregnancy at the party. When the big day arrived, everything seemed perfect. The decorations were beautiful, the food was amazing, and Daniel was genuinely surprised when he walked in. After dinner, we gathered everyone for the big announcement. "We have some news," Daniel said, his arm around my waist, eyes shining with pride. "We're expecting a baby." The room erupted in cheers and congratulations. Daniel's mother burst into tears of joy, and his father gave him a bear hug. In the commotion, I didn't notice Vanessa's reaction, but when I caught a glimpse of her face, I saw something that sent a chill down my spine: pure, undiluted rage. As the party continued, I tried to push that moment out of my mind. Maybe I had imagined it. After all, Vanessa had been civil lately, even asking about my pregnancy symptoms earlier that evening. Later, as people mingled and chatted, Vanessa approached me with a glass of what looked like sparkling cider. "For the mommy-to-be," she said, handing me the glass. Non-alcoholic, of course. I thanked her, touched by what seemed like a genuine gesture of goodwill. Just as I was about to take a sip, Daniel's cousin Lisa grabbed my arm. "Wait," Lisa said, her eyes narrowed in suspicion. "Did you make that yourself, Vanessa?" Vanessa's smile faltered for just a second. "Of course I did." "Why?" Lisa gently took the glass from my hand. "Because I just saw you pouring something from a small bottle into this glass in the kitchen." The room fell silent. Everyone was staring at us now. "That's ridiculous," Vanessa scoffed. "I was just adding some flavor drops. It's sparkling water with lemon flavor." Lisa wasn't buying it. "Then you won't mind if Angela doesn't drink this, right?" "Give it back to her," Vanessa snapped, reaching for the glass. "You're making a scene over nothing." But Lisa pulled the glass away and handed it to Daniel's father. "Maybe we should check what's in this." Vanessa's face flushed deep red. "This is insane. You're all paranoid." Greg, who had been quiet until now, stepped forward. "Vanessa, what did you put in that drink?" "Nothing," she shouted, but her hands were shaking. That's when Greg did something unexpected. He reached into Vanessa's purse, which was sitting on a nearby chair, and pulled out a small bottle. "What is this?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. Vanessa lunged for the bottle, but Greg held it out of reach. He examined the label, his face growing pale. "It's ipecac syrup," he said, looking at me with horror. "It induces vomiting." The room collectively gasped. I felt my knees buckle, and Daniel steadied me. "You were going to make my pregnant wife violently ill?" Daniel's voice was deadly quiet. Vanessa's demeanor changed instantly. She went from defensive to tearful in seconds. "It was just a joke. It wouldn't have hurt the baby, it just would have made her sick for a bit. She's been stealing all the attention with this pregnancy." Greg looked disgusted. "Our son had to be hospitalized after accidentally ingesting ipecac last year. You know how dangerous this can be." Daniel's mother stepped forward, her face ashen. "Everyone out. Party's over. Vanessa, don't you dare leave. We're calling the police." Vanessa's eyes widened. "The police? For a prank?" "Intentionally poisoning someone isn't a prank," Daniel's father said, already dialing on his phone. "It's assault. And doing it to a pregnant woman is beyond reprehensible." What followed was chaos. Vanessa tried to flee, but Greg blocked her path. "You need help, Vanessa. Real help." The police arrived within minutes. They took statements from everyone who witnessed the incident and collected the bottle and glass as evidence. Vanessa was arrested on the spot, charged with attempted assault. In the days that followed, more disturbing information came to light. This wasn't Vanessa's first attempt to harm me. Greg found a journal where she had detailed other pranks she had planned for me over the years, including putting allergens in my food, though she never went through with it. He was horrified and immediately filed for divorce, citing her unstable behavior and concern for their son's safety. Vanessa's trial was quick. With the overwhelming evidence and witnesses, she was sentenced to 2 years in prison with mandatory psychiatric evaluation and treatment. Greg was granted full custody of their son, with Vanessa only allowed supervised visits after her release. Daniel's parents were devastated by their daughter's actions but stood firmly with us. They made it clear that while they would always love Vanessa, they could not condone what she had done and would support whatever boundaries we needed to set. For Daniel, the hardest part was accepting that his sister had harbored such hatred toward me that she was willing to potentially harm our unborn child. He wrote her a letter explaining that while he would always be her brother, he needed time and significant evidence of change before he could allow her back into our lives. 5 months later, I gave birth to a healthy baby girl, Emma. The joy she brought into our lives helped heal some of the wounds Vanessa had inflicted. Daniel's parents doted on their granddaughter, and Greg made sure Jeremy got to know his cousin under his careful supervision. Vanessa has been in prison for 8 months now. According to Greg, she's finally engaging with therapy and acknowledging the severity of her actions. She sends letters occasionally, which Daniel reads but doesn't always respond to. It's a process, and we're taking it one day at a time. As for me, I've found peace in focusing on our little family and the people who truly support us. The experience taught me that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, you can't make someone accept you. And more importantly, you shouldn't have to. Emma is now 3 months old, and watching Daniel with her makes all the pain worth it. We're discussing having another child in a couple of years, and this time, we're looking forward to celebrating our news without fear. Vanessa's plan to humiliate me backfired in the worst possible way for her. She lost her freedom, her husband, her reputation, and the trust of everyone she loved. But in a strange way, her actions finally freed us from the cycle of hostility and pretense we'd been trapped in for years. I don't know what the future holds regarding our relationship with Vanessa. Perhaps, with genuine change and remorse on her part, some form of relationship might be possible someday. But one thing is certain, never again will I or my family be victims of her jealousy and spite. Update: it's been almost a year since the incident, and I wanted to share how things have developed. Emma is now 9 months old and thriving. She's crawling everywhere and has her father's eyes and smile. Vanessa has been in prison for a full year now. According to her therapist, who communicates with Daniel's parents, she's made significant progress in understanding her behavior patterns. She was diagnosed with both narcissistic personality disorder and borderline personality disorder, which explains a lot of her past actions. Greg's divorce from Vanessa was finalized 3 months ago. He's been an amazing uncle to Emma despite the complicated family dynamics. He brings Jeremy over for playdates, and watching the cousins interact brings us all joy. Daniel's parents have been our rocks throughout this entire ordeal. They've shown that it's possible to love someone with severe issues while still holding them accountable for their actions. They visit Vanessa in prison but are firm about the changes she needs to make before being welcomed back into family gatherings. As for Daniel and me, we've gone through couples therapy to process the trauma and ensure it doesn't affect our parenting. The therapist helped us establish healthy boundaries and communication strategies for when Vanessa eventually re-enters society. I still have moments of anxiety, especially around food and drinks I haven't prepared myself. But each day gets a little easier, and focusing on Emma helps put things in perspective. The most surprising development came last month when I received a handwritten letter from Vanessa. Unlike her previous communications, which were full of excuses and self-pity, this one contained a genuine apology. She acknowledged the pain she caused and took full responsibility for her actions without blaming her mental health issues. She wrote that she doesn't expect forgiveness but wanted me to know she's committed to changing. I haven't decided if I'll write back yet. Part of me wants to acknowledge her progress, but another part is still healing from years of her abuse. Daniel supports whatever decision I make. For now, we're focusing on the positives: our beautiful daughter, our supportive family, and the peace that comes from finally having the toxic presence removed from our daily lives. If there's one lesson I've learned from this experience, it's that sometimes the most painful events lead to the greatest healing. Vanessa's attempt to humiliate me ended up being the catalyst for positive change for everyone involved. And for that, ironically, I'm grateful.